Welcome back to another news day. I'm Eric for President, and you know the drill. We're gonna go over 5 stories you missed in the past couple days. The last video was a little ugly with the amount of bad news stories, so today's the greatest, the good, and just a little bit of ugly. We need to go over a huge new concern for the VIVE Cosmos, go over an update to the story behind the Beat Saber and SideQuest removal of Beat On, and a couple games that got announced that are very exciting, and more of course. As always, leave a like to support my habits, and let's get into the VR news. Let's start out with an interesting study going on showing some of the badasses trying to always make the metaverse a better place and start this news segment on the right note. Player Research is one of the industry-leading playtesting and user research specialists, and if you want your voice heard, well, they're ready to listen on something that could help VR down the line. VR, just like traditional gaming, has both single-player and multiplayer aspects, of course, but multiplayer in social VR gaming is interesting because what is able to be done to potentially harass and target others, well, in VR it can be done in a much more immersive, in my opinion, personal environment. Something social-based games like Altspace, VR Chat, and Rec Room are having to tackle right now. Links will be in the description for this, but Player Research would like input from both VR users and VR developers, with the latter having possible compensation for your time, to fill in surveys with the goal to hear some real, lived experiences of all this, to understand the issues better and how to combat them. Whether they do this through clear terms of service, better in-game mechanics, or more. It may not be the most pressing issue to VR right now, but they're still fighting the good fight, doing the best for the metaverse, and that's why they are the VR badasses of the day and the first story to start this positive news cycle out. Before getting into the main 2 stories, which unfortunately veer towards the ugly side, we have 2 game announcements real quick you'll want to be aware of. Fireproof Games and their series of The Rooms titles are at the top of many people's list and loved by many. And officially made only for VR, The Room VR, A Dark Matter will be hitting all major headsets, and yes, that's including the Oculus Quest, in early 2020. Designed from the ground up for the unique capabilities of VR, players can inhabit the spine-tingling world of The Room and interact with its strange contraptions in this compelling new chapter. The game begins deep within the British Museum in London, where the disappearance of an esteemed Egyptologist prompts a police investigation into the unknown. Explore cryptic locations, examine fantastic gadgets, and discover an otherworldly element which blurs the line between reality and illusion. If you haven't played any games from the series, I would recommend to pull up the App Store on your phone or mobile device to try them out, although I'm not sure if the storyline is going to be continued in this VR version, but this game should be a game on everyone's wish list who enjoys story-driven puzzle games, because the mobile games from the studio are top quality and I expect this game to follow. Also, you may remember Tales of Glory, a game that, depending on the rig you were playing on, could replicate giant medieval-like battles with hundreds of fighters on screen at once. Although the title was clunky at best, honestly it could be a mess at times, it still was a lot of fun and led to some great scenarios that I enjoyed role-playing with. Although Tales of Glory is technically still in early access, Tales of Glory 2 has been teased, but this time the swords are being sheathed because you don't bring swords to a gunfight. Tales of Glory 2 Retaliation is going the modern warfare route and bringing the essence of the first, but with a much more modern take this time around. From the looks of footage being teased out on their YouTube channel, it seems Tales of Glory may be trying to benefit off Blade and Sorcery, which I very much think it could do by separating itself in gameplay with its modern take. Honestly, had Blade and Sorcery not come out and Tales of Glory done better in its rollout, it may have taken that top spot and been a game many play now, but maybe this will be where it should have gone in the first place. The military shooter niche is full of great VR titles right now, so this will be a wait and see approach with no timetable out right now, but if you enjoy Tales of Glory at all, keep an eye on this because I'm sure some early access perks will come. Let me know your thoughts on both these games down in the comments. Now onto the big news many of you have been wanting. In the first of today's main 2 stories, we of course need to revisit the Beat On mod support for Beat Saber for the Oculus Quest ending and clarify the situation and what you should do. First of all, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I highly urge anyone frustrated by this situation to please not review bomb Beat games or SideQuest. This whole situation is out of their hands, and both SideQuest and Beat Saber have done a tremendous service for VR so far, but that's all the white knighting I'll do here. Beat On, the app allowing you the ability to use custom Beat Saber songs on your Oculus Quest, was taken down by the developer of it directly due to concerns of the terms of service and how it may be applied negatively to him down the road. Facebook did not do anything directly to beat on, and this was done preemptively by the developer for what he thinks and most likely will come down the road. His move makes complete sense. In the updated terms of service, he was concerned about this section associated with referring to violations with sideloadable content. Uploaded, distributed, or sideloaded any of the following: content that appears to be infringing, copied, or pirated, or content that contains malicious code, or mods of applications available on or through our platform that appear to infringe on third parties' intellectual property rights, introduce malicious code, give players an unfair advantage, or are otherwise not approved. The link to the full guidelines will be in the description. Baker and Upload VR reached out to Facebook and received this back. Our most recent policy update gives more clarity around how developer mode is intended to be used, such as helping developers build their apps or for enthusiasts to explore new concepts. It is not intended for engaging in piracy or illicit modding, including mods that infringe on third-party IP rights or contain malicious code. In addition, anyone who is running apps from unknown sources on the Oculus Quest will receive this warning message about the change to the guidelines. Running apps from unknown sources may put your account and device at risk. In reality, the methods Beaton used to add custom songs to the Oculus Quest is something neither Beat Games or Oculus can openly be okay with, and it does infringe on third-party IP rights. At this point, we need to sit and wait to see how things move forward. However, the point of this update is to spread where we are now and to try and stop the review bombs of a product that was not part of this decision, which in fact, Beat Games has actively campaigned to find ways to support custom songs, as they are just as invested in it as we are. In fact, it is likely that with time there may be another mod support for custom songs in the Oculus Quest for someone who's willing to take the risk. This is a touchy subject, one that really has no winners, but your comments on this is what I really want to hear. So we got to talk about an update with the VIVE Cosmos. A lot of you asked me, Eric, are you going to be keeping this? Well, as of the release of this video, it's already been returned. And that is because of an interview that came on Bloomberg, or a Bloomberg interview with the CEO of HTC. And if you remember my last video, I talked about why I want the Cosmos to succeed, and I hope you listen to this because it's important, I think, for anyone trying to make decisions on this in the future of VR. But in reality, the reason that HTC Vive behind me, the reason I bought it is because of the tracking. At the time, it was the #1 headset with the best tracking. That was its competitive advantage. That's why I wanted it. That's why I bought it, and it delivered. And I got a lot of love for HTC because of that. However, in this new report, in this new interview, the CEO of HTC, although he did say, hey, Oculus is competition, that they are not, he doesn't see himself as actively competing with HTC. And that is a huge concern because the #1 reason I want the HTC Cosmos to succeed is to give more consumer choices and to bring competition, which ultimately will lead to a better product, both in Oculus and in HTC and other headsets who want to get market share in the space. In fact, if HTC doesn't actively compete with Oculus, I don't understand on the people who have bought this and said, hey, it will get better. It will get better, but if you're not actively and intensely pursuing competition with your #1 competitor, and let's admit everyone is competing with Oculus, well, how's it ever going to get better than the Oculus Rift S, which is $399, which provides a better experience and a more cost-effective product? It boggles my mind. The only reason I could possibly see to get an HTC Vive Cosmos, and this is a huge stretch, is one, if you couldn't use the Rift S because you're IPD, or two, they're not shipping index to your region. And in fact, if both those are the case, you may even be better off finding an original Vive, going the Vive Pro, or finding a CV1. I just don't see in any form, function, price, any reason that you should be right now using the HTC Vive Cosmos. And in reality, even if it does get better, I don't see where it stands in the current marketplace either. I'm sorry to say that, but please guys, please for the love of God, I'm gonna say right now, there's no reason to get this. There's no reason to get that. So I'm sorry to end it on a bad note, but I want to let you know it is being returned. I will not have any future updates on the Vive Cosmos because I'm just gonna say it's not for me. The index is where I will be playing. I will be looking forward to the next headset. Absolutely will be buying that, hoping to see something better than what we have now. But of course, if you like this video, please leave a like to support it. Make sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon to never miss an upload. I'm Eric for President, and I will see you in the next one. VR Space Cowboys.